Hi, welcome everyone to this April 12th, 2022 business meeting of the Oyster Bay East Norwich School Board. Can everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, let's move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Ms. Kowalski, and good evening.
Oh, wait, actually, was there any correspondence? I should ask that first.
There was 3 correspondents, all via email on 3/15. Jessica Zaretsky, the board 3/15/22, praise to staff, cast, and crew of Pippin. 3/29/2022, Alicia Blazer, poor condition of Roosevelt Library books. And on 4/7, there was an email from Stephen Syracusa regarding his son.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now, sorry, Dr. Guy. Superintendent's report.
Thank you, Ms. Kowalski, and good evening, everybody. I want to begin my report by congratulating all the different Honor Society inductees that we had over the past 2 weeks. And I attended all of them, and I was impressed by, not by their performance, by their work, but everything else. What was I impressed the most was the fact that a few minutes before the induction, they were on the field, they were outside, and they were playing and winning games and doing all of that, and then 2 minutes later they would change and be ready for the induction. It was quite impressive, and really felt that a school of 1,500 really felt like a school of 15,000 with all the activities that they have going on. And that is because of our great students that we have and the support that the parents driving back and forth and doing all the work. So you make it all possible, and it is quite amazing. So congratulations to all the inductees. On Wednesday night, our symphonic band and wind ensemble under the direction of Mr. Cisia and Mr. Janetta performed at the New Jersey Performance Arts Center. It was truly a memorable concert. I said to Mr. Cisia and Mr. Janetta that staying at the event, closing my eyes, I felt like I was at the Scala di Milano, and the music was just amazing. I want to thank all the families that took time to drive to New Jersey to see our students performing. I want to thank our board member, Ms. Santos, for attending with the husband, Bob. It was a pleasure to have you there. And congratulations to all the students, and to Mr. Cisia. I know he's listening. He asked if he made us proud, and yes, he did. He did an amazing job conducting and all the work that the students did. So congratulations on that. This week was a busy week. On Wednesday, last Wednesday, teachers administrated throughout the entire district went to Theodore Roosevelt to read. It was a National Library Week, and so a special thank to Roseanne Davison and Ms. Christine Bartel for organizing this wonderful event, and to Ms. McCowie, for the principal, for organizing. I read a book in Mr. Agostini's room, and I had a lot of fun, the best part of my day, so great job on that. First grade social studies night, also at Roosevelt. We finally opened up fully to parents. So it was the first social studies night, and we had more than 60 parents and students, first graders, and their families attended and participated at different activities, and they were going from one station to another. So it was wonderful. And also thank you to the National Rho Kappa National Social Studies Honor Society students. They did a great job facilitating everything. So thank you. On March 29th, at the Cold Spring Harbor Lab, our senior and also our valedictorian, Kevin Bijani, presented research entitled Flower Power. Throughout the year, Kevin devoted 10 hours per week working with Professor Lippman in the lab, studying how CRISPR can be used to change genes that regulate flowering in a small weedy plant called Arabidopsis thaliana. I hope I pronounced that right. It's difficult just to pronounce. I can't imagine to do the lab work, but his result showed that alteration in the particular gene can successfully regulate flowering. Kevin Bijani's work has many implications regarding agriculture and food production. So congratulations to Kevin and his wonderful work and all the accomplishment. I'm always so proud of him and the work that he has done over the years. So congrats to him. And now the best part, it gives me great pleasure to invite to the podium Mr. Femino for the art recognition.
Good evening, Board of Education, administration, parents, community members. I'm here tonight to recognize our skilled art students. Our students, kindergarten through 12th grade, have participated in a number of art galleries and competitions. First to come to the stage is an AP student that had their work displayed in the Go Ape exhibition at the Art League of Long Island, along with some of her classmates that are unable to attend this evening. However, I will state everyone's name. And when your name is called, will you please remain standing up here so then we can take a group picture at the end. So, participating in the Go Ape exhibition was Kaylee Ochoa, Elizabeth Chester, Sabrina Resk, and Hannah Briggs. Hannah Briggs received honorable mention at the Go AP exhibition. In addition, Hannah Briggs won the Silver Key Award in the Scholastic Art and Writing Award competition. The Advanced Visions exhibition was held this past February and March at LIU Post. Both Hannah Briggs and Alex Marati had their work displayed in a gallery on campus. And Alex is also an advanced placement art student as well. Next month, the Art Supervisors Association, called ASA, or ASA, All County Art Exhibit will take place. The following students from all three schools will have their work displayed in this virtual gallery. From Theodore Roosevelt, Andrew Terranova, Leo Renda, and Victoria Peltzer. From the Vernon School, we have Michael Cleary, Emma Kim, and Alejandra Velasquez Palacios. From the Oyster Bay High School, we have Caitlin Melling, Hayden Mensinger, Lizzie Brizo, Natalia Soptsias, Ava DeAngelis, Madison Wilson, Daniela Ponce, Paige Sweeney, and Hannah Briggs, who's already on stage, is receiving the Senior Scholarship Award. And then we have one more event. This past fall, 3 Vernon students received recognition from the Cornell Cooperative Extension of Nassau County Art Competition. Students who submitted their work for the competition were Mia Brienza, Aoife Uretsko, who won the Bronze Level Award, and Vienna Casaselli, who won the Gold Level Award. The arts are a vital part of social and emotional learning, and they provide a way for students to express themselves and give voice to their life experiences. I want to thank Ms. Brustman, Ms. Crowley, Ms. Rendazzo, Ms. Miley, and Mr. Boris for providing a quality art education that impacts positive cognitive and social development. I also want to thank the Board of Education for their continued support in the fine and performing arts. Please stay tuned for the Theodore Roosevelt Art Gallery on April 27th, the Vernon Art Gallery on May 12th, and the High School Art Gallery on May 17th. Thank you again.
That's cute.
So at this point, I'm going to ask Dr. Pescara to give an update on the social studies Board of Education goals. Dr. Pasquera?
Second meeting in a row where the house is cleared before my presentation. So thank you, Dr. Yanni, and thank you to the Board of Education for providing me with the opportunity to present here tonight about all the exciting things happening in social studies at the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District. Tonight, I will discuss some of the exciting new experiences our elementary students are having in social studies, and I will also discuss updates at the high school that provide students with new and exciting opportunities. At the beginning of the 2019-2020 season, I began having discussions with Ms. McElway, the building principal at Theodore Roosevelt, around the idea of hosting a social studies night for the first grade students. It was exciting to finally, after a few years of planning, see that dream become a reality this past week, or last week, when we hosted more than 65 first graders for a night focused on learning about the individual that their school is named after, Theodore Roosevelt. The night was truly a community affair, as members of Sagamore Hill and local author Kathleen Bart both provided workshops geared towards our first grade students. A special thanks to our Rho Kappa Social Studies Honor Society students who started the night with activities for the students in the cafeteria as they entered. It was really nice. They were doing connect the dots with them, little coloring activities, and it was really nice to see our oldest students, our seniors, connecting with some of our youngest students. It was the beginning of another new wonderful tradition at Oyster Bay. And these are just a couple pictures of the different workshops. We are also very excited to welcome back fieldwork for social studies at the elementary level this year. As part of the fieldwork this year, students have already visited Raynham Hall, and they'll be visiting the Oyster Bay Railroad Museum, which is a kindergarten favorite, the old Bethpage Village restoration, and we will be hosting Nassau BOCES for the Earth Balloon this spring. I've said this numerous times since coming to Oyster Bay, but it is truly inspiring how much social studies education is done in the elementary level. While other districts have cut the amount of time focused on social studies, we have ensured it is a fixture in our daily curriculum, K through 6. At Oyster Bay High School, with the support of the Board of Education, we have worked to increase our course offerings and expand opportunities for our students to take AP classes in the social studies. This year, we introduced AP Human Geography for the first time as a course geared towards our freshmen and sophomore students, and next year we plan to add AP Macroeconomics to our juniors and seniors. These new course offerings will expand the amount of AP offerings in social studies to 6, and will allow students in grades 9 through 12 to have the opportunity to experience an AP course every year of their high school career in social studies if they choose. Along with the new course offerings, we continue to work to make social studies engaging for all students through finding guest speakers and experts in the field. This year, we had a local researcher, Claire Bellergeau, work with our Advanced 9 students on understanding multiple perspectives in history. We were also lucky enough to have an assembly for our AP government students with Mary Beth Tinker of the historical Supreme Court case, Tinker v. Des Moines, to discuss the case in detail. As I discussed at the last board meeting, there has been a focus this year on benchmarking students to ensure supports are provided so that all our students can be successful on the AP and Regents exams. To this end, we have administered mock exams, and teachers will provide focused instructions based on the results from previous benchmarks and the mock exams. Our nighttime AP review courses, which began April 4th, will provide our students with extra support as they begin to prepare for the AP exams that will take place in early May. Similarly, Regents Review will begin May 4th, with U.S. history being administered on June 1st in a new exam format. Thank you to our building principals, supervisors, and directors for all their support, and a very special thank you to the social studies team that is always willing to do whatever it takes to support our students. And thank you once again to Dr. Yanni and the Board of Education for your continued support of the social studies program at Oyster Bay East Norwich. Without your support, none of this would be possible. I will now take any questions that the board may have. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions?
Do we still participate, I think it was at the Vernon level, in the geography bee?
So unfortunately, that was one of the National Geographic got rid of that. So we're trying to find, we have a few that we're looking to, Current Events League, other things to replace that, but that was after COVID, they didn't bring it back, yeah.
Because I know we always had students that did very well in
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
so we'll find something else for
Okay,
them,
great.
absolutely.
And thank you for the macroeconomics. I know that we've been wanting that for several years. Do you know if any students interested for next
So
year?
we're working right now to see who's interested, and we're definitely getting a group of students that we will have a course at, and you know, we're working with the counselors to identify students who have either a business interest or an interest in the social sciences, with a focus on economics to take that course.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
And do we have a teaching staff in place for the class?
We do. We have a teacher who is willing to do it and excited and already signed up for the training, so we'll be ready to go on September 1.
Great,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pascara. At this point, I'd like to invite to the podium Ms. Raynor for Deputy Superintendent for a budget presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I am pleased to present the fourth budget presentation. As you can see from the title slide, this is the night that you will see on tonight's agenda a resolution to adopt the proposed budget aligned with these presentations. Throughout the budget development process this year, the vision of empowering all students to achieve excellence was maintained. The mission was to create a budget that will empower all students to achieve excellence and promote the district goals while maintaining current programs and planning for the best educational environment at Oben. Our focus has been maintained to stay within the allowable tax levy cap, to create the best possible education opportunities while remaining fiscally responsible. Tonight's presentation will summarize a lot of the information that was presented over the course of the season beginning in January. Budget details, the summary, the overall budget, as well as some of the projects both in capital technology that you will see on the ballot. Central to the budget process is our students. So it's always nice to follow a curriculum presentation like that to remind us why this budget is in place to support these students. Here are some of the amazing points of pride that we have and accomplishments of small class guidelines, elective and EP courses, as Dr. Pascara just spoke about, in addition to orchestra and the Mandarin program, which we are supporting in this budget as well, as you'll see in a future slide. As well as including all programmatic and staffing in the current budget, the following enhancements, as you see on this slide, are included. A full-time elementary counselor, a director of technology, director of humanities, elementary assistant principal, and additional staffing, like I said, to support the Mandarin orchestra programs currently in place. As we look at the budget, as we've been discussing, the revenue must equal the expense side. The revenue side is comprised primarily of the tax levy of approximately $55 million. The other revenue is state aid, interest income, lease from facility use, which equal the expense size of this year of $62,107,217. This shows a pie chart, a graphic of what that tax levy represents in our overall budget. The key piece to note here, as I would discuss in a previous presentation, is the CPI this year being well over 2% and the allowable tax levy cap of 2%. Once the capital exclusions are put into place, our allowable tax levy for the 22-23 budget at Oyster Bay East Norwich was 2.04, and we are within that allowable cap for this year. This is a summary of the revenue in each of the areas. You can see our state aid numbers, which were just as of this Saturday updated from the governor's proposal. The important piece for Oyster Bay East Norwich is that the foundation aid, which is the primary source of the aid, did remain flat from our January projections. The tax levy of $55 million approximately is again within the cap. So this gives you the breakdown of where that tax levy and the non-tax levy revenue comes from, at totaling of the $62 million budget. Looking at the expense side of the budget, this chart is a very detailed breakdown of each of the areas, starting with salaries and wages, going through the list. And I should have started with saying that this presentation for all the details is going to be on the website. It was posted on board docs. Will also be on the website budget page for anybody who wants to review. More importantly, looking at this data in the pie chart shows you here that the salaries and wages and benefits do comprise of 75% of the budget. In looking at the current year's 21-22 budget to the proposed 22-23 budget, you see the budget-to-budget difference of $697,714. In looking at some of the capital projects, to be able to maintain the buildings and do the repairs necessary, there will be a proposition to use funds from the Capital Reserve Fund of $695,000, which will allow us to do some auditorium sound upgrades, which we are in right now, some plastering of ceiling and walls in the older building here at the high school, HVAC, additional casework and flooring replacements at the Vernon and Roosevelt School. Technology projects to align and continue our multi-year technology plan, not only for student devices, but as well as instructional devices and interactive instructional boards. This proposition of $538,000 will support that multi-year technology project that we're currently in. Historically, gives a look back for 10 years to see what the budget increase, as well as the percent of passing the budget has been. So again, these numbers, I won't read them, but they are online for the website, the presentation for anybody to see. So when you look at the ballot on May 17th, there will be 3 propositions. The first proposition is for the school district budget, which is the expenditure amount that we just discussed of $62,107,217 for the budget. Proposition number 2 is for the $538 just discussed for the technology reserve fund expenditure, and proposition 3 is the capital reserve projects that were just discussed, totaling at $695,000. The voter information is listed here on the screen here. The district clerk's information, as well as the hours, are posted. I encourage you to reach out and get registered to vote by May 12th if you're not already. And in line with the timeline that we've been following, you can see today is April 12th, the 4th budget presentation, which again is the adoption for tonight. The next one will be on May 3rd, the 5th budget presentation, the night of the budget hearing, with the vote on May 17th from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. in the high school chorus room. Those are the key dates. And I thank the board, I thank the superintendent, and all the administrators and the team for their support in building this year's budget. Questions from the board?
No, thank you. Anyone have questions? No, thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to the approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve meeting minutes as listed and attached below?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to public participation agenda items, but no one has signed in, so we can skip that. Instructional personnel items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the instructional personnel items as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. On to business items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the business items as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I had one question on the budget transfer. So was that just that you budgeted for more TAN expense, tax anticipation note expense than we actually incurred? Was that the purpose of it?
That budget transfer is from the tax anticipation notice to fund the district meeting contractual services code. So that was because the expenses for the TAN are lower than expected.
Okay, yeah, so the actual was less than the budget, so you're just moving the excess
Correct.
funds out? Okay,
That's
thank
correct.
you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to special services. Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the special services resolution as listed in its entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, then we're going to move on to 11.01, except we are removing 11.04, which the board will act on separately. Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the new business resolution as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now we want to move on to 11.04. Resolved, the Board of Education appoints Darren Jabosi and Todd Cronin to serve as co-chairpersons of the annual district meeting to be held on May 17th, 2022, without compensation. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now we have public participation of non-agenda items, but no one has signed in. So we can close this meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
So moved.
Second? Second. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, have a good night.
Thank you.